So guess what? Here come the taxes. Now, despite the fact that we were being told nothing was going to change, it was only going to be a little bit of multinational here or there, apparently we now need to have a national conversation about how we fund the federal budget, which is code for who is going to pay more tax. Here is the passenger-in-chief of the Australian economy.
I think we need to be realistic about the fiscal situation, and I don't think that Australians should expect that the budget that I hand down in October will have a surplus in any of the forward years. And I want to be upfront about that. And one of the reasons why we've tried to be as upfront and honest and level with people throughout about the fiscal situation is we want people to understand these pressures that are on the budget. So
just say a national conversation. By goodness me, what could that possibly mean? Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Because we have to do it because everything's terrible and we never knew it was. However, how's this? We know that they are planning to spend billions more than is currently promised in the budget. This was their own election commitments, and it's an extra $2.5 billion they have to find each and every year. Where do they find that? Well, they claim they're going to find it from multinational tax, something they were rather excited to talk about today, assuming that no one has a memory of just how little money this is actually going to produce.
Well, in the October budget, there will be changes to multinational taxes. I flagged those before the election and subsequent after the election that we will be taking steps on the multinational tax front.
So brave. How much are they going to raise? $1.9 billion over 4 years. Now, I'm not great at maths, but if you're going to increase the amount of spending in a budget which is already deep in a deficit by tens of billions of dollars by at least about $2.5 billion, plus all the off-budget stuff like rewiring the nation, the $20 billion for this, the $5 billion for that, and your only plan to replace it revenue-wise is with $1.9 billion over 4 years, carry the one, that's not the same number. So are they actually going to cut spending? Wait, watch and see. Does anyone actually believe that's going to be the case? Even Michelle Grattan's writing about this, saying that voters only want painless budget repair, which last time I checked is impossible. By the way, there's lots of distractions from what was the real story today, and good on Andrew Clennell for actually pushing him on that. Hang on, sorry, the conversation about tax, can we start to talk about that? So we started to have the distraction game today. When people got tired of talking about the Queen, they started to talk about who should be on the $5 note after her passing. Now, without boring you with a history lesson, but put simply, the head of state, the sovereign, the king or queen, always pops up on the lowest denomination banknote that a country like Australia has. It's why it was the old $1 bill. We don't have those now, so it's the $5 note. So, of course, being lefties, they like to change things without actually asking anyone if that's what they want. Now, if Australia wants to become a republic, fine, we'll vote on it. So we don't really need to change the money between now and then. And there's no way that King Charles will not turn up on the $1, $2, 20 cent, 50 cent, 5 cent and 10 cent coins, because his head will end up on the other side of these things. So there's no way to Pirate Pete the currency before Australia gets a chance to vote on a republic. But it's time to distract from a national conversation about tax and raising money that doesn't actually cover the promises that we're making. So Jim Chalmers said this, and the media said, thanks very much, there's our lead.
I don't see a massive rush to change the $5 note, but nor do I think it should be especially controversial for a country like ours to consider and consult on what we want to do with the $5 note going forward. I had a preliminary discussion last night with the Governor of the Reserve Bank about this. We will take the necessary time.
This is what we call distraction politics. When you set off a flashing red light, like, you know, when they have a little bit of a discount at Target, and guess what happens? The media, well, they dutifully report. They turn around and they say, so hang on, a national tax conversation. Oh, sorry, well, let's talk about the $5 note. Oh my God, there's a $5 note. The rest of us are actually paying attention to what's happening right now. Meantime, guess what happens at midnight? Fuel goes up. Fuel's going up by 25 cents a litre. But shh, don't talk about it. We're changing the $5 note. Nothing to see here. Also, we learned today that retail sales figures have gone up yet again. In fact, the biggest number, $38 billion, has been spent in the retail sector in the past month. And guess what that means? They're going to put up interest rates again next week. Don't say you weren't warned. But the $5 note, that's the real story today.